Greetings! My name is Ziota Crew. Welcome to the Virginia Career Works Fairfax Center's Making Telework Work webinar. Today, I will talk about the advantages and challenges of working remotely. Moreover, I will discuss critical professional skills and traits that you need in order to become a successful telecommuter. Before we dive in, what is teleworking? It is a work arrangement in which employees do not commute or travel to a central place of work, such as an office building, warehouse, or store. You might hear people referring to teleworking as telecommuting, working from home, smart working, mobile work, remote work, and flexible workplace. You might wonder why it is worth considering a telework opportunity. Based on the global workplace analytics data, about 5 million US employees worked from home in 2018. Experts estimate that 25 to 30% of the workforce will be working remotely multiple days a week by the end of 2021. Let's explore the reasons why teleworking is so appealing for both the employees and the employers. One of the common appeals is that employees can save about $5,240 a year on their professional wardrobe, eating out, dry cleaning, and transportation, including a vehicle usage, gas, and insurance. Productivity is optimized when there's little distraction, such as small talks in a break room and quick cubicle drop-ins, which an employee would experience in a traditional office setting. When you feel productive, naturally, you feel a great sense of achievement as well. Because employees are not spending their time commuting to and from work, they have additional 1 or 2 hours to themselves to spend quality time with their families. In addition, employees have more time to focus on their health, whether it is exercising, planning healthy eating habits, or having enough time to recover from illness. Saving time and money, feeling a sense of achievement, and having flexible hours ultimately boost your morale and job satisfaction. Another reason to consider telework opportunity is that gaining remote work experience and developing unique skills, which you could use to highlight when applying for a new job or negotiating a promotion at workplace. What about the employers? Unsurprisingly, employers likewise benefit from the increased productivity of the employees. A small business can save on average $10,000 a year on real estate alone. A flexible workplace raises morale and lowers employee turnover. Especially, parenting or caregiving employees would rather work for an employer who's willing to allow them to perform their family duties without any guilt. Indeed, 95% of the employers reported that teleworking retained their talents. More importantly, it can also eliminate the need for transportation altogether, allowing the organizations to tap into a talent pool of qualified candidates that are unable to drive. If about 40% of the US workforce choose to work from home half the time, US would reduce oil consumption, greenhouse gases, and save billions of dollars on road maintenance. Reducing the carbon footprint or the amount of the carbon dioxide that we create with our activities would make the environment cleaner and safer for us all. Prolonged traffic jams, continuous road work, and impatient motorists create a lot of stress. Simply eliminating or reducing these factors would make everyone a happier employee and employer. Teleworking can be a key component of a business continuity plan in case of inclement weather, a pandemic, or any crisis that shuts down the brick and mortar office for any period of time. In short, this choice would not only benefit the employees, but also positively affect the economy and the planet. On the flip side of the coin, remote work can raise some concerns. Employers attempt to address the question of how they can define and measure performance, as not all deliverables are easily quantified. They might also struggle with trusting employees, especially if they're not readily available or reachable during work hours. What about creativity? Will individual employee be motivated or creative without the energy of the team? Getting to know coworkers outside of work tends to boost interdependence and improve teamwork. Informal communication is a bit challenging to truly connect with a colleague via emails and web meetings. To address this concern, some employers are practicing cyber workplaces, where everyone keeps their camera on throughout the day, giving them the feeling of being in an office environment. As you might know, not all jobs are telework compatible. Those on-site employees might get assigned additional projects simply because they are physically available. And as a result, they might perceive their on-site work as an unfair arrangement. Another concern is whether employees are aware of their strengths and weaknesses. Will they be productive, independent, and reliable if they are not in the office? To convince your future boss that you are cut out for remote work, you need to understand exactly what habits and traits make you a qualified candidate. This begs the question of what skills and characteristics make you a qualified and successful teleworker. One of the most desired traits is being independent. To employers of remote staff, working independently means doing your job without needing constant feedback, yet knowing when to reach out. It also means double checking your work before submitting it to avoid losing valuable time. When a remote employee is not vigilant about checking their own work for errors, it greatly increases the amount of time spent going back and forth. Being self-disciplined sets you up for success as well. Make sure to get enough sleep, set personal deadlines with your work projects, and follow through on them. Set boundaries for handling personal responsibilities during the middle of the workday. Experts believe that going for a walk or cycling before and after your workday could allow you to get into that work and out of work modes and improve your creativity. Good communication is a must for any job. The virtual workspace presents special challenges. Such important nonverbal cues as facial expressions and body language cannot always be used to convey a meaning and could be the cause of lost valuable time. Even though you write clearly, there is no guarantee your intended meaning will be understood. Clarify before proceeding with your work. To alleviate one of the employer's concerns, you can show that you're working by responding to emails and returning calls as soon as possible. A good rule of thumb is to reply to or acknowledge your supervisor's or colleagues' emails within 15 to 30 minutes. Oxford Languages Dictionary defines the word flexibility as the quality and ability to bend without breaking. Being flexible in life means that you can change your plans and adapt to new situations easily. The ability to be more flexible in a career means that you can learn new skills, assume responsibilities outside of your original position, and adapt to a new work environment. This can lead to promotions and greater possibilities in your career. Becoming tech savvier is easier than said done. Nevertheless, you can seek assistance from your employer's IT help desk, friends, or family. You can watch video tutorials on YouTube, Microsoft, or Apple's support websites. Dedicate time to learn about the software that you will use often. Educate yourself on computer malware, virus threats, figure out your office equipment settings, and secure your Wi-Fi with a strong password. Now that you know what skills to develop or improve on, let's talk about acing your web meetings. You will need good enough internet connection to attend or host uninterrupted web meetings or calls, and to transmit massive data for your work. Don't forget to test your internet connection for full bandwidth and stability on your internet provider's website. Remember, nothing is free, so please avoid using free Wi-Fi hotspots. If your home internet seems to be weak, you can try placing your workstation near the router to get better signal. Alternatively, you can use wireless range extender to improve the wireless coverage. Keeping your software and operating system up to date is one of the most important things you can do. Such updates fix security and functional flaws. Organizations use different collaboration or web meeting applications. Pre-registering in and familiarizing yourself with the specific web meeting apps features will allow you to use it with dexterity during your meetings. Seeing colleagues during meetings can create a personal connection and facilitate collaboration. You should expect to use a camera and a headset. Many laptops come with built-in cameras, and all you need to do is check its settings and enhance the quality. You might want to invest in a quality headset or request one from your employer. Some headsets have a noise canceling feature that can come very handy when your environment is noisy. Once you ensure that your connection is good and your software as well as your operating system are updated, spend some time preparing your office. Find a tidy, well-lit, and quiet venue. If you're not comfortable sharing your space with your colleagues or interviewers, you can use a pre-uploaded image of an office or a library as your background. Consider requesting a friend or a family to babysit your child if you have a job interview so that you can give them your undivided attention. One cannot emphasize enough the importance of the facial expressions and body language during interviews or meetings. Therefore, you should position yourself in front of the light source so your audience can see your micro expressions clearly. Interviewing or presenting can make most of us nervous. To eliminate this, have your files open or readily available to screen share. And place your sticky notes near your web camera. Another great strategy to alleviate your nervousness is to make a test call with a tech-savvy friend or a family member beforehand. Double check your privacy settings so that incoming call and document sharing capabilities are enabled. Be sure to adjust your camera to frame your face. Close any programs that you don't need for your meeting so you and your colleagues are not distracted when you're receiving an email, an instant message, or a web call. Now let's go over the do's and don'ts during web meetings. It is understandable if you are not in the mood to use your camera unless it's a job interview. You should upload a high-resolution professional photo for your profile picture so it appears on the screen when you speak. If the circumstances call for using a camera, dress professionally and look well-groomed. Be well prepared for your web meetings, just as you would be for your in-person ones. Look straight at the camera to give your interviewers or audience the impression that you are maintaining an eye contact. It is why you should place your sticky notes beside your camera or read your notes from your computer. Be careful not to screen share your notes. Let your audience know that you're engaging in a conversation by using your body language, whether it is nodding or smiling. It is expected of you to mute yourself when you are not speaking and when you're attending a large group meeting. As you would do during an interview or a meeting, mute your cell phone and close any unnecessary apps as they would not only distract you, but also slow down your computer. As for the don'ts, it is not recommended to leave your profile photo empty. Avoid using an icon, a selfie, or a group shot as your profile picture because it is considered unprofessional and the environment where you took your selfie or group shot could give negative impression to your interviewers or colleagues. You demonstrate your punctuality or lack thereof when you meet online as well. Please do not delay your start time. Be in a virtual waiting room 4 to 5 minutes before the meeting starts. Do not plan to perform other tasks while attending a meeting, especially when you're sharing your camera. Unless it is a lunch meeting, it is very unprofessional to eat food or chew a gum during a meeting. And finally, turn off that favorite tune or music. You do not want to be that disruptive participant whom everyone will remember in a negative way. In a virtual workspace, your email is one of the primary means of communication. Consequently, your emails and your email address are going to represent you as a professional. First thing is first. Is your email address professional? If you're employed, use your company email address. And if you are a job seeker, create an email address that includes your first and last name. For example, johnsmith@email.com. Never use personal email that advertises your favorite food, beverage, place, behavior, or beliefs. Some examples of unprofessional email address can be bacarddigirl@email.com, lazypanda@email.com, or drunkensquirrel@email.com. Studies show that candidates with professional emails are perceived as more successful and competent than those with unprofessional email addresses. Use a signature block to give your recipient some information about your job title, contact information, and your company's name. It additionally helps you to save time when you're busy. Adding quotes, sayings, and artwork is highly discouraged. As the saying goes, haste makes waste. I would like to add that haste embarrasses you as well. Before hitting the reply all, ask if everyone needs or should read your reply. Be considerate and do not clutter others' email. Only one exclamation point can convey your excitement. Do not get carried away or you will come across as immature. Humor can easily be misconstrued without the right tone or nonverbal cues. Besides, something that you think is funny might not be funny to someone else. Be on the safe side and leave it out. Furthermore, it is safe to assume that virtual office will have employees with varying cultural backgrounds. Some prefer to use more pleasantries in their email, while others prefer to get to the point quickly. When in doubt, you can always start your emails with a brief pleasantry to show your politeness. Receiving and replying multiple emails daily can be daunting. However, remember that strong communication defines you as a competent professional. Take few seconds to email the sender acknowledging your receipt so they know you have received the information or attachment. Grammatical mistakes are more noticeable in a written communication than in a verbal one. Even if you are in a hurry, read your email aloud and check for misspelled and misused words, missing punctuation, or run-on sentences. You can prevent sending out your email before proofreading if you add the recipient's address last. Double check your recipient's email address to make sure you're not sending it to someone else with the same last name. Your professional emails should be easy on the eyes. Use only such classic fonts as Arial, Calibri, or Times New Roman in a dark blue or black color. The font size should be no smaller than 11 or 12. Similar to jokes, negative words or tone can be easily misunderstood without a context or facial expression. To avoid such miscommunication, reframe your words. For example, instead of failure, say temporary setback. Reframe neglected as might have missed. Instead of saying you're wrong, say I would be interested in learning more about your perspective. Last, but certainly not least, be cognizant of what kind of information you're sharing. If your email contains sensitive information or document, always encrypt your message. Also, make sure to verify your email recipient is a credible recruiter or hiring manager. Exercise caution when applying for jobs and submitting documents. This concludes our Making Telework Work webinar. Thank you for watching our video. For more assistance with your career coaching needs, contact a member of the Virginia CareerWorks Fairfax Center team at www.vcwnorthern.com or email at dfsvcwndale@fairfaxcounty.gov, or you can call 703-533-5400. Dial 711 for VA Relay. For additional services offered by the Virginia CareerWorks Fairfax Centers, please visit at www.fairfaxcounty.gov/family services/employment and training/services. If you would like to receive weekly information on job leads, upcoming webinars, and employment events, please subscribe to the weekly newsletter by visiting www.fairfaxcounty.gov/email/lists/pound update. Once on the page, scroll down to Family Services and look for career resources. This video is produced by the Virginia CareerWorks Fairfax Centers, operated by Public Assistance and Employment Services of the Fairfax County Department of Family Services. Please visit us at www.fairfaxcounty.gov/family services.